Hey, use your voice, okay? Swannaroos on 3. 1, 2, 3, Swannaroos! Let's go, boys! 1, 2, 3, 3!
Strong in that quarter was fantastic.
Home, and when you think of that, you think of Kansas, and that's exactly where we are, because there's no place like Lone Elm Park here in Olathe, Kansas, as we get set for the third leg of the USAFL Regional Championship Series. It's the 2025 USAFL Central Regional Championships presented by Tasmanian. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Barish. Great to have you along once again as our Aussie Rules Traveling Roadshow continues, and it brings us to suburban Kansas City and Olathe, Kansas, and we are at Lone Elm Park for the second time in 3 seasons. You remember we were here for the Super Regionals, which had somewhere in the neighborhood of about 15 or 16 teams. In today's case, we'll have teams from up and down the Central region trying to take out championships in 2 divisions. This is a Division II match as the hometown Kansas City Power take on the Nashville Kangaroos. The other 2 teams in this particular division, and they are playing on Field 2 on the other side, are the Oklahoma Buffaloes and the Des Moines Roosters. Now, if you've been following the Regional Championship Series over the last couple of weeks, you'll know that we've employed a dynamic scheduling mechanic, which essentially means that the results of the first 2 games will determine the rest of today's schedule. And in this case, it will determine the rest of the streaming schedule, as we will be here on Field 1 for the entire day. So for these 2 teams, for the Power and for the Kangaroos, it's a bit of a carrot, because the winner of this match will stay on this field in their next 2 games later on this afternoon. It is a round-robin format. Each team will play 3 games on the course of the day. The team with the best record will be declared the champion in each division. We'll have Division 1 for you coming up, with the first game occurring at 10:15 local time, which is in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. And we'll fill you in more on that as we get closer to it. But in the meantime, the Nashville Kangaroos, a team that has played very well here in the opening. They have an even record of 3-3, having played in 2 tournaments. In fact, they have a one more win, having hosted the Rome Redbacks with a pretty solid victory. But the fact that the Redbacks traveled up to Nashville for their first long-distance road trip that as a full team outside of nationals was very impressive. But the Kangaroos, with players such as Sal Caramena up front. We mentioned in our preview Kevin Hines, the former football player at Eastern Connecticut State University. He's out there as well. For the Kansas City Power, this is their 4th tournament of the season, and they are still looking for their first win with a collective record of 0-9. But they were saying that this was payday. That was what they were using, the terminology they were using in the huddles as they were getting ready, because this is what you do all that work for. And here on home ground, they are looking not only to pick up their first victory, but perhaps from the 4 seed come away with the trophy. The Power are in the black jumpers with the silver and teal trim, and you'll notice those are relatively new designs. They actually debuted them here at this regional, the Super Regionals 2 years ago, with the fountains in the middle. And we were at Kauffman Stadium yesterday and saw those particular fountains as well. The Nashville Kangaroos are in the white jumpers with the blue trim and the red numbers, and it looks like they will be kicking to our left. The umpire is ready, and so are we, and we are underway here in this 2025 Central Regional Championships. As the umpire steps forward and tosses the ball to the heavens, I will tell you right off the bat, we do not have numbers for Nashville, so you'll beg your indulgence to start. The Power, however, have the football, and the Power is on out to the near side. It'll drop in front, 2 players going after it, and it'll hop a couple of times and go over the boundary line and out of bounds. If you're watching Aussie Rules football for the first time, the object of the game is to kick the ball between the big sticks on either side. I mean, obviously each team has a particular goal. It's not like chook ball, where teams could score on either side. As we said, that the Power are kicking to our right, and that's Sal Caramena for the Nashville Kangaroos, who tries to knock the ball forward. Going down to his knees and going to pick that one up was Michael Brookshire, the veteran for the Power. Hand up over the top, and here come the Roos. Throws that one on to the left. Going out in front, but two players are right there, and it's marked back in defense. So here come the Power. They'll move it out to the left side now, dropped in front. Again, Brookshire is there. Gave it off to the number 11, who we don't have a name for. Not surprising, we've got a couple of players who, during the course of the day, who will either misidentify or we don't have numbers for. So once again, we beg your indulgence on that. And here come the Power once again. Big tackle. He's just getting rid of it. That's going to get paid downfield for a push in the back as Caleb Doherty, the veteran, was taken down. And they'll pay the free kick downfield. So it's essentially as if the free kick was, or the mark was taken, and the mark was taken in front. And they'll have an opportunity now, and we'll tell you that we now do have numbers for Kansas City, as Jonathan Ilfool has the ball, one of the young recruits for the Power. We'll see how he negotiates this free kick. That's after he took the mark. Remember that you can kick, and you can if you make the catch, and if you make the catch after it travels 15 meters or more, you get a free kick from that. And El Fool has registered the first point of this tournament, and it's 1-0 Kansas City. So behind for the Power. If you kick it between one of the big sticks and one of the little sticks, that's worth 1 point. And we are ready to go again with the Power, setting to put the ball back into play. That was Thomas Proctor, the national teamer, who gave up the free kick. And here comes the Power, the Kangaroos the other way. It'll drop in front. One-on-one contest. Going and picking that one up, getting away from Proctor very well. And now coming out to the near side, one-on-one contest. It'll tumble over the boundary line and out of bounds with a couple of players giving chase. And when that happens, we will have a boundary. We have our boundary umpires, who are volunteers on this occasion. The other clubs are required to provide boundary umpires, and the umpire will come spinning the ball back into play. We have the Chicago Swans helping us out for this particular game. As the ball gets thrown down, going to get picked up, and that is the beginning of the field on field 2. So it sounds like we're running a little late over on field 2, but that's okay. The games we'll have a 15-minute break in between this game and the next game. So the next game will start at 10:15 local time. Meanwhile, that is Jonathan Gilder sends the ball into the pocket, going to keep that one in play, but they're getting shoved over and out. And we'll have a boundary throw in. 3.5 minutes gone on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Kansas City leads Nashville 1-0. As we said, the Power 0-9 so far this season, having hosted the KC Beer Tournament back at the beginning of May, and then having gone on playing in the Midwest Cup, and then in the Des Moines 80-35 Cup. Now that is a 10-a-side tournament that Des Moines hosts every year. But again, a team that has really built itself up, especially since the pandemic, as the ball will drop in front. Over to get it is again the number 11, who we don't have a number for. So again, and the ball is going over and out. We'll have a boundary throw in. 4.5 minutes gone. Ball goes spinning back in the play. Punched backwards. And going to pick that one up again was was the number 10. We don't have a number for. And again, we're missing a couple of numbers here. So once again, as going to pick that one up is Matt Filchak. Filchak going to send this one in. Hops in front. It'll roll. It'll bounce. Turning and handballing it over again. There was Luke Chadwick. Chadwick going to pick that one up off the side of the boot. It looks pretty good, and it's there. Thomas Proctor with the first goal of the day. And the Kangaroos go out to a 5-point lead with 5 minutes gone on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Nashville goes to 1 straight 6. Kansas City 1 behind. Thomas Proctor, who made his national team debut 2 years ago and really had his coming out party with the Kangaroos a couple of years ago and played well at the Parallel Cup, and then went to the the Transatlantic Cup and was a key component in the run to the grand final for Kyle Strensky's team. And we'll have a secondary ball up. And worth mentioning that I was going to say something and I've forgotten. You'll have to, again, we're just getting set up here. We've got our roster sheet set to go. And now here and picking that one up is Nat Vo. Vo trying to look in the middle of the ground for Nashville, but it's a whistle, and it will be a free kick. So free kick coming the way of the Power. Founded in 1998. Both of these teams nearing their 30th anniversaries. The mark taken well by the 21 for, that's Matthew Shand. Shand with the football. Looking for some guidance down the line. Marked in front. Good positioning. And it's Andrew Hahn, another one of the newer players who we spotlighted. Kick is not a good one. It's a wounded duck. It's going to die in the square. There's an opportunity, though, and it's kicked home off the ground. That's a goal for the Power. Not sure who it was. There was a bunch of bodies in there, but it looked like it may have been Julie Paradise in front. Great goal by Julie Paradise. And the Power go to 1-1-7. And we not mentioned, and it's clear now, that we are running a co-ed format. We have a handful of players across both divisions who are playing in this. There is not enough for a dedicated women's division, so they're playing alongside the men. But remember that in 3 weeks we'll have of course the Denver, the Western Regionals in Denver. As we hear the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe going off in the background out to the far side. So we'll have 2 women's divisions on that day. And we'll have a whistle. Great story there. Julie Paradise in her 2nd season. And gets a goal in the Central Regionals as this one gets sent in and marked. Great tracking of the football by Chadwick. The Kangaroos, last time they were here, won alongside DC, won the Division II Super Regional Championship. Chadwick to tie or give his team the lead. It's going to be the former as the ball sails off to the left side. 1 goal, 1 behind each of 2. We're playing 2 20-minute halves. 9 minutes gone in this first one. We're keeping an eye on the weather. Game time temperature right now is a very comfortable 77 degrees with the feels like temperature not much higher than that, so the humidity not setting in too much, which is good. There is Caramena, who looks out for in the corner for Vo, and Vo sends that one in towards the sticks, dropped in front, crash boom opera. And we'll have a whistle as a couple of players slow to get up. And we have a Kansas City player down. And he is going to get up very, very slowly indeed, and there he is. But the Kangaroos knocking on heaven's door. There's Proctor! Hello! One snap of the boot around the body, and the Kangaroos are in front with Thomas Proctor's second. The Roos go to 2-1-13, KC 1-1-7. And Proctor showing why he is a national team player. Just cool as you like around the body. And there you go. So 13-7. We mentioned the other 2 teams in this division, the Des Moines Roosters and the Oklahoma Buffaloes. You'll see those 2 teams later on today. When will depend on the results later on. As the ball goes now, it's going to get kicked on the outside of the boot. And, good contest there. Again, looking for Proctor. But going to get it there was James Telfer. Telfer likes his kick, and they've gone back-to-back. Bang, bang, go the Roos. And on the Watch AFL scoreboard, they now have a 2-goal lead. 3-1-19 for the Roos. Kansas City 1-1-7, 11 gone. So that wasn't Proctor on this occasion, but he had a score involvement as he contested the ball well, and a great job by Telfer to crumb the ball, as we say. That is one of my favorite footy terms, is whenever the ball is loose, they call it the crumbs, essentially, and you're able to scoop up the crumbs and work magic. And those players that can do that are very useful. Sending this one up high, tracking this one back as the wind picks up. The wind is going to be a factor during the course of the day for not just the players, but for all and sundry. As that one is kicked in off the chest, going to get sent back. Ball drops in front now, going to get picked up, turning around off the left foot. There's another snap. Though wanted a goal and is going to get it. And I believe that was Chadwick again, and the Kangaroos have kicked 3 goals in just over 2 minutes. And they are kicking away here in this first half after the Power had built a small lead. Watch AFL scoreboard. Nashville 4-1-25, KC 1-1-7. The Kangaroos, it took them, they were in very early on. They were in the Division I National Championship, I believe in the first season. And then they hadn't won again until they had won a national championship, until they took out Division IV a couple years ago. And for a team that has really been really a rock club in the southeast region, and one that is an area that is booming, really. And we know that Wayne Krask is watching back home, so we have to say hello to Kraz and hope he's doing well. Of course, we mentioned the Rome Redbacks a little bit earlier in the broadcast. Helped out the Atlanta Kookaburras, but a lot of the newer clubs that are coming in all across the southeast. As Caramena just put the ball to boot and hung up, and in this wind it's going to dance and like a ballet dancer. And a free kick has been given away. So this is the captain, Brookshire. Brookie was on that, I believe, was on that 2008 National Championship team for Division III. Doherty was able to get it out. Though was in there with the tackle. Umpire says there was no prior opportunity. That is umpire Steve Arnott, veteran umpire based in Minnesota. He's countless games in the USAFL, one of the best umpires in the USAFL Umpires Association ranks. Caramena thought about soccering it, changed his mind. That's Duty, James Duty, a.k.a. JD. Getting it sent this one back, going to get it. There is Kelly. Kelly now trying to turn it around, but he dropped the pill. Kangaroos swarming over it. There's Filchak with a chance, and have the Kangaroos kick their 4th in a row. They have 4 goals in about 6 minutes for the Nashville Kangaroos. And they go on to 5-1-31 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Kansas City stuck on 1-1-7. And you see now the Kangaroos forward line just muscling their way, and a good job by Filchak, who is using his speed there and his quickness to kind of cut inside the defense. Ball comes back in the air once again. 5 minutes to go. Ball comes across. Going to get picked up by Filchak once again. He's able to get it away. Drops it on the far side. And it goes up and stays in play. Grubber on the corridor. Filchak just got his foot to the ball. I don't know how on earth he managed to do that. Great concentration. It was out of the hands of Kevin Hines, but Sending it back now is Kansas City as the ball is up on the far side. Here's Duty, followed the football the entire way. Chip kick over the top looking for Eastwood but couldn't claim it. Ball is still on the deck now. Going to get picked up, swinging this one around. Big tackle put in, and the umpire crosses his arms like the Monsignor, and we'll have a ball up on that far side. Shoveled off the ground. Here come the power the other way, kicking into that wind, but right to Caramena. Caramena will have a ping at goal, and it looks like the goal streak is going to be broken there. First behind in a while for the Kangaroos on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 5-2-32 to Kansas City 1-1-7. So 32-7. We'll tell you that our producer Jerry Long is, well, he's coming back now, so we'll just only mention that because of the score update. Out to the near side. Comes out to the near side now. Good contest here. And staying with it now and able to clear that in the middle was Matty Curry. Hunter Carcione was in there as well, and you could hear them saying, "Pick it up, Hunter." And that's something that if you're relatively new to the game, the first instinct is you see the ball on the ground and your mind goes into soccer mode. If you can just like get your foot to the ball, that's essentially helpful. But you know, sometimes you have to make that little bit of an extra effort, and it's hard on a day like this, but you have to make that little bit of an extra effort to put your head over the football and just pick it up. Here's another chance at goal. A good opportunity there from Chadwick, but it was always going left. And a behind. Watch AFL scoreboard, 5-3-33 Nashville, 1-1-7 Kansas City. Brian Barish here with you. Be with you for all 6 games here today. Got a bag full of lozenges and some tea back at the hotel, so mark out to the near side. Good connection, left-footed kick. Drops in front, bounces away from Shand. Picked up nicely by Sherwood. Another ball hanging in the breeze. And, oh, big tackle. Now, was that high contact? That's the question, and in fact it was. And it was, and it will be Kevin Hines. Hines, a Philadelphia area native. He's coming off of spine fusion surgery last year, and he kicked 3 goals in his opening game last week. And great to see him get involved. Looking around, decides he wants to back himself. Instead, he decides to go short. Oh, he's going to, almost got a goal out of that. It was touched on the way through. It looked like he was playing in short, but it was touched on the way through, another behind. Nashville 5-4-34, Kansas City 1-1-7. Less than a minute to go. Ball goes out into the wing. And we'll have, I believe that was a high contact. We're waiting. And I know that there's been just some regarding like when we were able to see those signals. A lot of times we're focusing on the play and not able to see the umpire's signals. As there is Curry, who sends this one in, dropped in front, one-on-one contest. Power have the numbers, trying to get it out though. That's the key part. Pitchfork handball there by the number 12. Again, no number for them. As the ball drops in front, sending this one back, going in, and the siren will beat everything, and that will do it. Halftime in game number 1 of the 2025 USAFL Central Regionals presented by Tasmanian. It's the Nashville Kangaroos, 5 goals, 4-34. Kansas City, 1 goal, 1-7. And the Power came out pretty well. They had 2 of the first 3 scoring shots. But it's been all Nashville with a couple of goals to Thomas Proctor. And A couple of other players. We saw Caramena, who was in there as well, Ian Eastwood, and Luke Chadwick getting a goal as well. So a 27-point lead will return to Lone Elm Park here in Olathe. You're watching the 2025 USAFL Central Regional Championships here on AussieRulesUSA.com. Back here at Lone Elm Park in Olathe, Kansas, 2025 USAFL Central Regional Championships presented by Tasmania and the Nashville Kangaroos, out to a 34-7 lead. Brian Barish back here with you. Glad that you're joining us here on the stream, or perhaps somewhere in the not-too-distant future, somewhere in time and space, and we won't get into an MST 3K reference. As Kansas City will now be kicking from right to left on your device of watching choice. The Kangaroos will be kicking towards the... we didn't really have to give that a name. I'm going to call that the hangar end because it looks like there's an airplane hangar on that side. As the umpire tosses the ball to the heavens, the wind seems to be blowing directly into the commentary position, so it's a crosswind. It'll be interesting to see how the teams adjust to that. As the Power bring it back from the halfback line out to the near side now. Going to pick that one up, sending this one down to the wing position. Mark nicely. Drop this one in front, looking for Vo, who takes a nice mark in front of the late arriving Ilful. Vo, good drop, setting this one up high. One-on-one contest, spoiled out the back. Power have it. Trying to get it out now, but it is intercepted and then turned over again. Going up high down the line, over the top, drops in front. Duty going back to get it. But then picking that one up and coming across was Brandon Ray. Ray goes across the middle, across the ground, looking for a connection, but it's Phil Chackle, handball it back to Duty. Duty with a handball really just out of desperation because he had a little bit. Oh, big bump thrown in there by Logan Vidovich. And there's a little bit afterwards when we were watching Vidovich in there, and that breaks up in a hurry. No need for an umpire intervention on that particular occasion. Ball goes in. Going down was Doherty. Doherty was kept down off the football. There is Hines. Hines was tackled. Things picking up a little bit here. Vo, good handball, looking front. Turning around there is Telfer. Telfer punched free there by Eastwood. Physicality picking up a little bit here, but it's good hard football. And high contact is called. And slow to get up is Kevin Hines. Hines with a good look. Excuse me, as he finds Sherwood, and it's right in front, and they're slamming the ball home. Is Luke Chadwick. That is his second, I believe. Or did it go off to the side? We're double checking. No, it's a goal. It is a goal. So sixth goal of the day so far for the Kangaroos. They go to 6-4-40. Kansas City 1-1-7. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. In case you're just joining us, this is Division II play. We have two divisions here. Division I will kick off at 10:15. And we'll have the Chicago Swans and the St. Louis Blues. Not those St. Louis Blues, but the other ones. Second of our 6 games here today. Ball gets picked up and sent back the other way there by Castilleja. Ball drops in front. Vo surprised him. He looked up, but he's got all sorts of room. Now he's under the hammer. Sending this one up high. Good mark. Great job by Telfer. Telf with a left foot. Good driving kick into the half-forward line. Almost taking the mark was Proctor. Wanting a call there was Chadwick. Proctor goes in for a second go, and did he get the free kick? No, he didn't. It was too high, I believe, so it'll be a free kick. Not a very good kick, though, and the ball is back in play. Going to get it was Hahn, and there'll be another free kick. And again, holding off the football is called. So here is Andrew Hahn. Hahn sending this one down in front. Crumbing is Carametta. Carametta wheels around. Another long handball. Inside. Runs inside the 50-meter arc. Sending this one in short. And deflected by the vice captain, Kiefer Cook, for Kansas City. Cook, the president of the Kansas City Power, and he was featured in the fantastic pocket profile that was done by our production manager, Jerry Long. You're watching it on this USAFL YouTube channel. You should go and check that out. And also check out the one he did of Jacksonville, and there's a couple more coming down the pike that you'll want to keep an eye on. Great work by Jerry traveling around the country to get the story of some of these teams. 6:5:41 on the Watch AFL scoreboard, by the way. 117 for Nashville, for Kansas City. Both of these teams will play Des Moines and Oklahoma, who are currently playing on the opposite field. And we won't have a score update for you within the bounds of this broadcast, but keep an eye on our Play HQ site. If you go look at the preview for this game, you'll have all the up-to-date standings and everything as it's updated throughout the course of the day. Ball up directly across from us. 34-point lead to the Roos. Elfool was spun off the football. Picking this one up and turning this one around. Umpire says play on. This is, good selling. Oh, he dropped it. The mustard came off the hot dog as Curry tried to sell some candy, but when he looked through the box, it was all empty. And they'll come out to the near side now. Off the hands. Going after it was Doherty. Clinton was in there as well. Power trying to, they need to get one here and try and start the comeback. One-on-one contest. Good contest in there between the 7 for Kansas City and Jonathan Gilder for Nashville. Nashville last year, they combined with Cleveland in the Super Regionals, played in Ohio. Boundary throw-in comes in. Duty knocks the ball down. Getting away from the former St. Louis Blue and Orion Peterson. Sending this one in towards the sticks, one-on-one, and it will go across the face and go out for a boundary throw-in. 7 minutes gone, 13 to go here in the second half. And again, Division I action coming up at 10:15. So in about 45 minutes, I would say about 40 minutes or so. As we mentioned, it'll be Chicago and St. Louis as this one is cleared out, dropped in front. There is Elfool, right-footed kick. Drops in front and stays in. Nashville trying to get it out now. Gets away from a defender, straightens up and bangs it out. Over the head, though. Good job of backing that play up. As it was over the head of Telfer. And you can hear them talk, telling him to give him a lead, as Doherty couldn't get it, and Curry is able to claim it. Oh, big tackle open by Doherty, and he is G-O-N-E gone. Caleb Doherty, the new dad, and has played on a national team going back for at least a decade. Based here in Kansas City. He's played for a number of different teams, though, over the years, including Des Moines, and last year playing for the Denver Bulldogs. See a lot of players, especially in a national tournament year, international tournament year, from the lower divisions go up and play in the higher ones as Doherty kicks into this wind, and it goes through straight and majestic like a flatulent moth. And that, they needed that one as Doherty gets them on the board here in the second half. Watch AFL scoreboard. Kansas City goes to 2-1-13. Nashville 6-5-41. Back to a 28-point gap. So still some hope for the Power with 11 minutes to go. If you're watching back in Australia, you know that you may be familiar with AFL rules or perhaps from different leagues. We do not play with time on, so the clock is always running. So with under 11 minutes to go, and they need essentially 5 goals, you really subtract half a minute from each one. So in reality, they really only have maybe about 6 minutes of game time. So they have to be very economical with how they spend their time. Going on and playing it quickly, putting the ball to ground. Now sending this one inside the 50-meter arc. Looking again for Doherty, but the ball overcarried him. Not as well weighted on the wind as it should have been. We'll have a boundary line as we approach the halfway mark of this second half. And we mentioned we're keeping an eye on the weather. If it does get too oppressive, then you will see the hot weather rules come into play, which part of that would mean that they would be playing 4 10-minute quarters. As Vo try to get that one around. Now he needs to clear it out. Does with a handball. And drops in front. Going to get picked up. Just got his left foot to the ball. Curry couldn't get to it. And there again is Telfer. Vo is there. Just got boot the ball. Clean bowls Doherty. One-on-one contest. Going to get it and picking that one up was Young. Young sends that one on, but it has gone out of bounds on the fly, or on the full as they say in Australia, and it will be, instead of a boundary throw in, it'll be a free kick. That rule in Aussie rules is maybe only about a half a century old, maybe a little bit more, but I remember watching footage for the 1958 VFL Grand Final and seeing them kick it out. The ball dropped. They wanted a holding the ball call. They didn't get it. As Sherwood was in there and put the tackle in on Bryant Young. Boundary throw in comes spinning back in the play. Elfool in there. Left-footed kick there by Brookshire. Sending this one into the pocket. Good job of holding it up. Cleared out by Jeff Person. Peeps, as we know. And we'll definitely be seeing him out umpiring at some point, I'm sure. A little bit of extra afterwards. We mentioned, by and large, we haven't had too many issues over the course of this tournament season. This is a physical game, as dropping it was Carcione. And then turning it over to Elfool. Elfool will have it. Runs on. Gets under the ball a little bit. Trusting the wind. And it goes off the defender's hands. Mad scramble in front. Power have numbers for Nell. Just got the ball out. Gives himself some room. And did he kick that one? I think he did. That was a great goal off a broken play. Give that to Mitchell Wagner. And the Power have kicked 2 in a row. It's not quite over, Red Rover. Nashville 6-5-41. Back to 22 points. Kansas City 3-1-19. And coming up on 7.5 minutes to go here in this opening game. Well, the Power at least making it interesting. As we said, looking for their first win of this season. We mentioned that they were a club founded in the late 90s, 1998. Won the Division III National Championship in 2008. Defeating Austin/St. Louis in the grand final. Really kind of tells you how how many things have changed. With Austin not fielding a full team and playing in Division III, and of course now they're the 5-time defending men's Division I national champions. Elfool picked this one off. Puts the ball. Sending this one in. Juggled and marked. And they'll have a chance here. Can he kick 3 in a row? Shand will go back. When he kicks it, it looks like this will be probably from about 45 meters out. Shan's kick is up on the way. It's drifting left. It's off hands. Good job by Duty to get up high using his, that's a 5-point discount. So it's a behind to Kansas City. They go to 3-2-20. Nashville 6-5-41. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Brian Barish here with you. Glad to have your company as always. We have 5 more games coming up. And we'll tell you that the winner of this game will be on this field the next 2 games. So, and will be streamed. So if you're a fan of Nashville, you can make an appointment to be back here for the next couple of games. And we won't have, as we've mentioned, the Oklahoma-Des Moines game running a little bit late. We're going to run out of time on this particular broadcast. If you join us on the next one, we'll have an update for you as to what the schedule will be in Division 2. As this one gets sent in, juggle, almost taking the mark there was the number 11. And that one gets clicked out now. Big contest put in. Good bump, good shepherd being put in by Kansas City. They are starting to get a little bit more of the muscle. This one is sent in by Shand, and it will bounce home. Shand's kicked that one. Kansas City has their 3rd consecutive goal, and they're within 15 points with 5 minutes to go. Watch AFL scoreboard. Kansas City 4-2-26. Nashville 6-5-41. Well, this first game, which Nashville looked like they were running away with it, all of a sudden the Power have come on here. Wind, not much of a factor in terms of an advantage one way or another, but a good job of winning the ball out once again. Pounded forward by Castilleja, sending this one in. Going to get picked up. Big tackle put in. They are hungry for the football, are Kansas City. Nashville desperately trying to get out, and Vo will have a chance to do so. Cuts to the inside, handballs it on to get past Doherty. And then out to the near side, Brookshire. He's got 2 men on his hammer. Hit immediately once he touched the ball, and it's going to be pushed in the back. Given up by Sol Caramena. And Brookshire is rolling around. So Doherty, and he's going to be told to give the ball to Brookshire now that he's up and staying in the play. Doherty was looking to get the ball really quickly, but remember, it's the person, unless it's an injury, the person who earned the free kick has to take it. So here is Brookshire, who decides to feed Doherty with a handball. Now kicks this one in. Good weighted kick, and it's marked defensively. And Sherwood will burn some time off the clock now. 4.5 to go, 3.5 to go. Out to the near side to a wide open Vo. Takes the mark. He'll hold things down. Waiting. Handballs over Doherty. And manages to stay in play. Great job by Sherwood. Able to avoid 2 tackles. Has a 3rd bounce. Sends this one inside. And it is dropped right in front. Sherwood trying to get the ball out. Wearing Cook like a $10 suit. Now comes out in front. Vo had it greased through his hands. Now going up and picking that one up and trying to clear it out. Good job of staying over the ball. This is Tim Dingus. It says stays with it. Dingus coming over from North Texas. There's they have a couple borrowed, but there in front is Hines, and that will have sealed it. Kevin Hines kicks his first of the day, and that'll just about do it for the Roos. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, they go to 7-5-47. Kansas City 4-2-26. Well, the Power had applied a lot of pressure and did well to get those 3 goals in a row, but it looks like it'll be the Kangaroos who will play again, who will win. And as we mentioned, they'll be back on this field at 11:30, and they'll play the team, either the loser of the match between Oklahoma and Des Moines. We have unofficially under 2 minutes to go. Ball goes forward now. Sending this one up. Out to the near side. It's going to come out in front. Going to get picked up. Again, it's Sherwood sending this one in. drops in front, high in the air. Going back it is Eastwood, but a whistle as Proctor was set to go forward. And it will be a free kick, and it will go the way of Bryant Young. Handballs it out to the near side. Nashville by 21 points. Comes out looking for Doherty. Going to get picked off by Sherwood. Goes in front. Cleared out. Looking for the 31. Can't find it. And we have a whistle. And a free kick. Under a minute to go now. Umpire Steve Arnett directing traffic. Sending this one down in the middle of the ground, marked by Elful. Play on quickly. There's a grubber of a ball. Comes out. Duty is first to meet it. Shimmies away from one tackle. Spears the ball low. Nice mark taken. No, it wasn't paid. It looked like it hit the ground. The umpire crosses his arms, saying there was no prior opportunity for him to get rid of the ball. Final seconds. Sent in, and there's the horn, and that'll do it. The Nashville Kangaroos had a battle on their hands in the second half, but they come home winners in this opening game. The final score on the Watch AFL scoreboard, it's the Nashville Kangaroos, 7 goals, 5 behinds, 47 points. Kansas City, 4-2-26. Great effort from the Power as they came up fighting in the second half and was able to kick those 3 goals to make the game a little bit more equilibrious, but the Roos begin the day with a victory. So they will go on, they will be on this field at 11:15, where they will play the loser of the game across the way between the Des Moines Roosters and the Oklahoma Buffaloes. Or rather, it's at 11:30 is when that game is. So they'll play the loser of that game 11:30, and then they'll be back here in the final game of the day at 2:15. Those times, of course, are U.S. Central Time. And the Power will be on field 2 for those 2 games. They'll play the winner of Oklahoma Des Moines next, and then play the loser of that game, which, depending on how the rest of the results may go, may still have implications for the championship. So that's game 1 in the books. 5 more to go, and on the other side of this break, on the next stream, we'll have Division I action as the Chicago Swans face the St. Louis Blues. Don't go anywhere and join us then. We'll be back to Olathe. You're watching the 2025 USAFL Central Regional Championships presented by Tasmanian here on AussieRulesUSA.com.
This presentation of the USAFL is brought to you by Tasmanian. Quietly pursue the extraordinary. Cooper's, Australian made and owned. Cooper's Beer. Odin Mortgage and Tax. CyberSolve IQ, the cybersecurity partner of the USAFL. HBC Event Services. Premier Sports Medicine. And Visit Tucson Sports.